So knowing is a place where you just get exposed. The next step is one, you comprehend information through specific learning strategies. Information is presented in some form. You redesign that information in such a manner that you are able to understand it really well. This is comprehension. For comprehension, you can use learning strategies. Learning strategies. Then after you have comprehended the information, the third part is storage. And this is where now that you have comprehended the information using a memory technique, will work very well. All right. So these are the 3 steps that are involved in learning and remembrance. Now let's go back quickly. Keep these things in your mind. Let's move on to the first technique now. So as I said, this is what you're capable of. So if at all you're wondering, all right, what are the different kinds of memory, types of memory? There are only 2. My brain is tamed the way, we tame a lion. My brain is untrained. So with the techniques that you're going to learn now, you can train your brain or leave it untrained. But the more you use it, the more sharper it becomes, the sharper it becomes. Okay? So I think I've already told you this. Storage happens in the form of 3 things. Quickly, is everyone able to hear me and see my webcam as well? Okay. I hear one student just pinging no. All right. Yeah. And remember, very, very important. This is the last but a very, very critical part. Unless you want to remember, the mind never tries remembering. So that means when you're storing an information, all right, storing with the right intention, because the signal that you pass on to the brain matters a lot. What is the intention with which you store some information? When it comes to your favorite, I'll give you an example. When it comes to your favorite subjects, you just don't forget it at all. Correct? Because in your favorite subject, you love them and you pass the right signals when you learn that information. However, when it comes to a subject where we aren't that comfortable, right? What we do is we store information, no doubt. But the intention, all right, the signal that we pass on to the brain is like, we don't store it in such a manner that we tell them, I want to remember this information. That kind of a signal is not passed on to the brain. The mind, while storing, the synapses should be so strong, and that will happen only when you have the right intention to remember it. I would like to remember this information. This is critical for me. This kind of a signal you should pass on to your brains. Okay, great. I have already given you the learning process, steps involved. So any information is known. And when it is in working memory, this is where you comprehend. I have understood the information. So information is stored. But stored where? Initially, where it gets stored? You can see on your screens. Any information initially gets stored in your working memory. Working memory is temporary memory. Working memory is temporary memory, Aman. And then through memory techniques and constant iteration, repetition or practice, I move it from temporary memory to permanent memory. Is everyone clear? Perfect. This is all what you need to know. Okay, in quickly a nutshell, it's almost 25 minutes, 28 minutes now. So as I said, storage in permanent memory is based on the reiterations done and through the strategies. It could be memory techniques, strategies that you adopt to store information. All right. Now, so any information, try and attach a logical sequence to it or a creative sequence to it. And we will learn it now. And students, now to make things a little interesting, what I'm going to do is every technique that I'm going to train you on, I will, after the technique, after I teach you that, I will unmute any one of you. And trust me, I love volunteers. First one who, pings, he or she is the one I'll pick. And if the same person coming twice, I would pick the second person. And I have not even started. All right. I appreciate. Excellent. Shall we move on to the first technique now? Are you ready? Great. I am moving on to the first technique. Now, if I have to remember information, what are the different ways in which information is present? And I am personally aiming around 7 to 10 techniques today. I'm trying to teach you guys 7 to 10 techniques depending on the time. All right. Okay. So, information is present in the form of numbers, text. When you are speaking about a formula, it is number plus text. It's a combination of number and text. You're speaking about a date, right? Number, again, events, text, faces, people. In other words, people, you call it, right? Okay. Now, tasks. I have some lists, list, table, task. These are the different ways in which, diagrams or images. These are the different ways in which information is present. And even when you're in your studies, this is exactly, it applies as well, correct? Now, you might be asked to remember information like this. Periodic table. It's a tabular form. Or you might be asked to remember information like this. Completely textual form. Right? Or you might be asked to remember information like numbers. So there are different ways in which, you are expected to remember information. Right? Okay, cool. Now let's move on to the first technique. All right, students, can you ping me a few, not necessary, first go through it, understand it, then, you can note it. All right, but not a must to note. All right, students, can you help me with a few objects around you? Camera, okay, camera. Slowly so that I am able to write. All right, then computer. Okay, then water bottle. Then clock. Okay, clock. Then school bag. School bag. Then books. Then speakers. Then mirror. Okay, then tube light, then pen. All right. So what you guys told me was a camera, then computer, then water bottle, right? Wait a second. I leave a gap, school bag, book, speaker, mirror, tube light, and pen. Right. So what was the fourth one? Is that a clock? No, what is it? You know the time that I took, right? I was just writing and I just kept repeating. As I wrote, I started memorizing everything. And trust me, it is just 10. Easily it can be done till 100, you wouldn't believe. It is that easy.